Man, we got a rare appearance from Brendan Shanahan at the Board of Governors yesterday, too. He spoke with Gino Reda of TSN, but he said fucking nothing. Like I broke down what he said. He said nothing. It kind of annoyed me that we never hear from Brendan Shanahan. The one time he speaks, he says absolutely nothing. He said, I think over the last 10 games, our team has played much better and has that rhythm and cohesive 20-man unit game, whatever that means. 5-on-5 play is what he was talking about there. The results have been good. We want it to be better. Our record is strong, but we're looking to get that entire game back. Like, it's sickening. I often tweet about Ross Atkins, the GM of the Blue Jays, and every time he speaks, I want to puke myself. We're getting to that point with Brendan Shanahan. Like, just even the way he conducted this interview, I know Gino was trying to, ask him a question about Nylander, and he kept sort of like scoffing it off, like laughing it off. Like, he kept asking him if he's concerned about Nylander's play, and I get that, and maybe you worded it a bit differently, but Gino Reda is a legend. He was giving absolutely nothing. I don't think anybody in their right mind watching this team over the first 20 games, I don't care if you're the team president or the team mascot, which needs to change, by the way, but it never will. It's a fucking bear. But like, you can't be completely satisfied with the product we're receiving, can you?
No, I don't really think anyone is. I mean, expectations are higher and the consistency's not there. I don't think the roster is where it needs to be. And, the guys we brought in, you look at Domi, you look at Bertuzzi, we kind of expected more out of them so far. Like with Domi, I thought he'd play with more of an edge. I thought he'd be tougher. I thought he'd be more of a physical presence. I thought, he'd have more than one goal by this point in the season, and
Sure.
it's just hasn't gone that way. So expectations for guys are a little bit higher. We did expect more. We still kind of have those blunders where you lose to Chicago and they don't show up for a game and they just expect to win by being there. I guess it's kind of a bad trait to have, and they've had that a little bit in the last couple of years, no question. But like to for Brendan Shanahan, I mean, I don't even listen to those things. I really don't, because to get a lot of just hot air coming out. It's like you
All
press
it was.
you
Yep.
press end at the end and you go, what did I learn? Fucking
Nothing.
zero, man. It's
Nothing.
pointless to talk to him. And if I were in his position, I mean, you have the reins of the whole cart. Like, wait till you have something to say that you want to say out loud, that you think. I mean, I understand you're in this market, and the reason they don't say anything is because it could get turned and twisted into something and create negative publicity and negative energy and all this stuff. So they just stay away from it. But like, if you do have something to say at one point in time, it doesn't have to be at the board of governors meeting. Just be like, hey, throw a camera on me right now. I'm going to come in after so and so after this game and just say, hey, here's some developments with something, just something that's positive that you have already thought about and talked about with the PR team and can't be turned around on you and spun in a different way. And sit down and talk once in a while about what's going on. Then it feels like you're being transparent. It feels like people are on board with you. It feels like, yeah, I know the direction they're going, as opposed to sitting there going, well, we're really looking forward to being more consistent as a 5-man cohesive
Nothing.
unit. Like, fuck
Fucking nothing.
off. Get out of
Yeah.
here. Like, it's just, that's why I don't even listen, because I know there's no point to that stuff. And Shanny doesn't talk very often. And I don't know. It just leaves that mystery of who's actually making the calls. Is he blocking Tree Living from doing what he
Oh,
wants? Is he
yeah.
hands off? Is he completely hands on? Is who's a figurehead and who isn't? It makes for a lot of questioning going on behind the scenes. All right.
The key word is transparency. Like, he's gone fully corporate, and I'm with you. Like, this guy never talks, and then he talks for the first time in months. I can't remember the last time Brendan Shanahan spoke to the media, and it is Gino Reda,
Mhm.
and he does a great job for TSN. And he said absolutely nothing. Like, just give us something. Be transparent. I think, often, the team or whatever, is wondering, why guys do hits and stuff like that because of the way things are spun. But I think things would be so much different if there was just a smidget of transparency within this market. Like, they gave us nothing. They give anybody nothing. It really, really was mind boggling. Watching Shanahan yesterday, I'm like, what am I watching? Why did I waste 3 minutes of my time? But I did anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there's nothing to be transparent about, like, what, I get the other side of it, kind of, where what do you want him to
Yeah, but
say?
just all I wanted to hear was like, we're not playing good enough. It's unacceptable. There's no fucking accountability with this team, dude. I've witnessed this year after year after year when they lose in the playoffs. It's always about the future. It's always about the core four. Like, there's always excuses. We're going to be better next time. And then they come out next time, the same fucking team. I just want accountability. That's such a big word for me in my life. And I feel like the Leafs are not really accountable every year when they lose. Like there's no accountability in the organization. I can't even say the word, quite frankly.
Yeah, I see the frustration, and I mean, it's the. I feel like they've lost. I feel like they've lost sight of the fact that like the time is now. You're not going to have this. You're not going to have this dynamic of a roster all the time. Like if you look at teams, they go through ebbs and flows and rebuilds,
Yeah.
and they peak and plateau. And we're kind of at that peaky plateau point in time right here, where you got certain guys wrapped up, and it's like the time is now. And when you keep blowing first rounds and losses and this and that, and you keep saying, well, and it's like, dude, you might be rebuilding here soon. You might be
True.
like, it's not always going to be this way. And I feel like the city is kind of gotten themselves in a point where we're just used to being like every year just assuming, oh, well, we're going to contend, but we like never do. It's like, no, not every year are people going to say you're in a position to contend for the Stanley Cup. There's only a handful of teams that's said about you. And when you're in that zone, in that time period, you got to make hay while the sun shines. And so far they have not been doing that.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.